Welcome to a new edition of the Caravan Diary. We haven't gone far away from home. This is actually within about a mile or two of our front door, and we've come to visit Michael hervey-Murray, who owns a brand new motorhome. But Michael isn't exactly your ordinary caravan or motorhome owner. For one thing, he's been in a wheelchair really for longer than you can think, for about 50 years?
50 years, yes.
50 years, man and boy. So he knows what he's doing, and this motorhome has been adapted to suit his exact needs. Let's have a look. The key to any caravan or motorhome conversion for a wheelchair user is actually being able to get on board without any difficult manoeuvres. So a powered system like this one, made by Italian firm Autolift, is the only practical solution. It doesn't require any manual adjustment while in use, so there are no risks to fingers or hands either. If the unit fails at any time, the hydraulics can be manually pumped from inside the vehicle, so you are unlikely to be trapped inside. That's seriously impressive bit of kit, isn't it, really, that? Once the lift is up, you can just move around the motorhome normally on its flat floor. The only widening that had to be done to allow for the wheelchair was around the shower and toilet, with the toilet's front wall being cut back to allow for the non-standard revolving driver's seat, and the whole shower room being narrowed a couple of inches to allow for the chair in the main passageway.
What I've got is on the right hand side here, I have a single lever, which if I pull it upwards is the throttle, and if I push it down, that's the brake. So, and that's would be the same as though the car was with an automatic gearbox. But on the gear lever here, this small button on the top is an auto clutch. And what happens is that when you start the engine, first of all, and you apply the brake either via the foot pedal or via this hand control here, the clutch automatically goes down at that point. And then you can put it into first gear, and as you then take the brake off, the clutch pedal moves upwards to the point of where it's just biting, and then as you accelerate, the clutch pedal comes up fully, and then the clutch is engaged. And when you're on the move, changing from first to second gear, you then operate this button on the top of the gear lever. So if I'm going from first to second, it's just press button, obviously adjust the throttle accordingly, down to second gear, press button, second to third, and so forth. And that's the adaptation for the hand controls. No, it's not an automatic, so I get the full play of the 6-speed gearbox, which I think is probably slightly more versatile. So I can use the gears I want to use. There's two cameras, one pointing more or less straight back and one pointing more or less down, and that's sort of this half of the mirror here. Yeah, I love it to drive because it's got very nice. It's very high, and actually the position, the sort of steering wheel and the seat position is actually quite comfortable.
The moment when you decided this was a bit of an electric light bulb moment for you, wasn't it?
It certainly was. I went to the Mobility Roadshow in Peterborough last July, and I wasn't looking for a motorhome at all. I was actually looking for a suitable car for next time I change my Motability car, and I came across not this particular model, but an adapted motorhome, and it was like a light bulb switching on. I sat in front of it and thought, wow, that probably, if I can manage it independently, answers all my dreams of having a holiday. Bring the ramp up first. Yeah. I asked Coach Built to keep the adaptations to the minimum to suit me particularly. So the back end of it here, the seating area, the lounge area, really hasn't been adapted at all, and to concentrate on the access, of course, the lift and the wider door, the rotating seats so I can get from my wheelchair into the driving seat, and of course the shower and toilet area. That was sort of most important.
Those changes that you've made, from my point of view, this would make a fine caravan or a fine motorhome for anybody, really.
Yeah, I think they're so good at what they do that you really you can't see the joins between what was the original from Swift and where the adaptations have been made.
You haven't changed the height on the cooker area, or the galley area.
I did think about it, and it would have meant losing space underneath the cooker and above the fridge. So I can manage in my wheelchair to reach to do the washing up and the cooking. But that was a conscious decision to deliberately leave that alone. And likewise, the heights of the cupboards, there was a possibility of lowering them all, but then you start to lose the visibility from the windows and so forth. And so with a grab handle, I can reach things and put things up in the cupboards.
The biggest internal job was rendering the toilet space usable. It had to be narrowed to let the wheelchair pass, so the long internal partition had to be moved back and a filler inserted in the ceiling. The normally fixed section of the partition was also hinged, so the whole side of the shower room opens. The only major external work was fitting the lift and widening the door, which necessitated shortening the near side sofa a little, so it's no longer a completely full-length single. As of 2 days' time, you're disappearing and heading north.
Yep, Thursday morning, all things working out, then set off for through the Midlands, through Worksop one night, which is just conveniently halfway between Felixstowe and the Lake District, and then Friday night we'll be in Eskdale in the Lakes for a few nights, then across to Kielder Water for a few nights, then up to Loch Lomond for a few nights, and then round to a site on the Kintyre Peninsula, Moosedale, which has a lovely site with a beach and views across the Inner Hebrides.
So you'll be disappeared.
Disappeared.
No, I like it. I'm definitely coming. For me, the most appealing part of Mike's Swift motorhome conversion was the minimal amount of changes he's made to the vehicle. It would still make a great motorhome for any couple.